Chapter 23. Mr. Savage, Elaine reported. Why would his name be on the wall? What does he know? He must know about what happened down here, Bo answered. How would he know? Darlene asked. Bo rolled his eyes. I'll ask him next time I see him. Do you think he had something to do with it? Elaine asked. Well, we're talking about people who knew they were going to die, Bo replied. They wrote their names on the wall, and when they ran out of paint, they scratched this in with a rock. To tell anyone who found them that Mr. Savage knew what happened, Elaine finished. But how could he have anything to do with a cave-in? Darlene wondered. Elaine caught a movement from the corner of her eye, a strange flickering in the torchlight. Her heart seemed to stop. Darlene gasped. The red cloud poured through their small escape route. The stench of rotting flesh filled Elaine's nostrils. It was more intense than before. She had to cover her mouth. Then she heard it. The mist was breathing. This time, Elaine could hear it clearly. A steady, heavy breathing. The mist spread out before them, wavering in the torchlight, growing, taking up more and more space. It forced them back. Elaine bumped into the rough stone wall behind her. There was nowhere else to go. Now they were trapped. Chapter 24. What do we do? Darlene's voice came out as a squeak. We can't fight it, Elaine replied. Her body felt so cold, she couldn't stop shaking. She held her torch out as if it might protect her in some way. The red cloud churned in front of them. The only sound was a delicate flicker of the torches, and the breathing of the mist. The mist hovered, as if watching them. A few wisps of it floated out to examine the skeletons. Then it became whole again, hanging in midair. What's it waiting for? Elaine whispered. Me, Bo replied. What? Don't worry about it, he growled. Just get ready to run, no matter what happens to me. Bo? Darlene began. Bo stepped forward and waved his torch at the red mist. Hey, he called out, come on. You've been wanting a piece of me all day. Well, come and get it. Bo, no, Elaine cried. He shot a quick look at her. Then he sidestepped toward the far wall. The cloud followed him. That's it, Bo urged. Come get me first. Elaine realized what Bo was doing. She and Darlene now had a clear shot at the small tunnel, but they couldn't leave Bo here alone. Someone's going to die, she realized in utter horror. One or all of us. Bo was giving us a chance. We have to take it. But she couldn't. She couldn't watch Bo die. Run, he ordered, swinging the torch. The red cloud seemed to glow with power, or hunger, Elaine thought. Only a short space separated it and Bo. Run, he repeated. Elaine stood her ground. His eyes locked on hers. She felt the rage burning in him, rage over losing Max, over being trapped in this nightmare, but she saw the fear too. Bo was about to die, and he knew it. Run, he wailed. Now! Elaine grabbed Darlene's arm and hauled her toward the dirt pile. Darlene didn't protest. The red cloud turned on them, but it was too far away to stop them. Elaine sprinted along the far wall. Almost there. She just had to get up the dirt pile. She just had to climb up to the tunnel without causing another cave-in. She glanced over her shoulder and gasped. The red mist poured over the skeletons. Elaine stopped short. Her mouth fell open. This couldn't be real. Oh no, Darlene whispered from behind her. The red mist surrounded the skeletons. It floated in and out of the ribs. It swirled through the mouths and eye sockets. The bones stirred. At first, they trembled. Then they started to move. The red mist lifted the skeletons off the floor one after the other. Elaine gasped as the dead things stood up and began to float toward her. Their jaws snapped at the air. Their legs clicked and rattled against the stone floor. Their arms waved like marionettes. Their fingers flexed, becoming claws. Come on, Darlene, Elaine yelled. She ran for the pile of dirt. The skeletons were faster. They flew across the room, bones clacking against bones. They spread out in front of the dirt pile, in front of the tunnel. They blocked the only way out. Paralyzing fear gripped Elaine. She didn't know what else to do. This was it. Finally, they were going to die. Elaine screamed as the bony hands reached out for her. Chapter 25. No, Elaine screamed. You're not alive. You're not alive. Get them away from me, Darlene shrieked. Elaine stared at the skeletons. Every limb flexed as they half staggered. half floated in front of her. How could she be sure they wouldn't tear her apart? There was no time. "They're not alive," she called to Darlene. "Run through them." "No!" Darlene sobbed with fear. "Run!" Bo screamed. "Run!" Elaine whirled to see him. The mist was only a foot away from his face. They had to go. Now! She drew in a deep breath and ran at the skeletons. She held a torch straight out in front of her. She passed the first skeleton. They clustered around her. Their arms reached for her. They clawed at her clothes and hair, trying to get a grip on her throat. "No!" she screamed. She swung the torch at them. It spun from her grip and clattered to the floor. The flame went out. One of the skeletons embraced her, its grimy, brown face moving in toward hers as if to kiss her. Its jaw clapped open and shut, the chipped teeth chattering only inches from her lips. She moaned in revulsion and flung the thing from her. It fell back and collapsed on the ground. Two more crusty arms slid around her neck from behind. A bony hand dragged across her face. Elaine whipped around, batting at the skeleton. Her arm plowed through its ribcage, shattering it. She felt a wave of nausea. Her hands were covered with a black grit, the remains of human flesh. "Get away from me!" she cried. The remaining bones crumbled and clattered to the floor. The skull rolled into the darkness. Elaine sprinted the rest of the distance to the pile, scrambling up to the tunnel entrance. At the top of the pile, she turned around. Darlene wasn't behind her. She had frozen in her tracks, a skeleton reaching out for her. Bo spotted it too. He bolted toward Darlene. His speed astounded Elaine. He faked one way and ran another, fooling the mist with an end-around that was faster than any running back she'd ever seen. As he ran, his wild eyes focused on the skeleton. He raised his torch like a baseball bat. The skeleton exploded as Bo swung through its ribcage, sending shards of bone and chunks of flaming torch across the chamber. Everything went black. "Go!" she heard Bo scream. Elaine dove into the tunnel and didn't look back. She scrambled through, coughing at a huge mouthful of dirt. She rolled to a stop at the bottom of the pile on the other side, grateful for the blast of cool, wet air, no matter how bad it stank. She couldn't see anything. All the torches were gone. She whirled in the direction of the tunnel. Where are Darlene and Bo? She thought. They have to make it. But Elaine couldn't see anyone, or anything. She heard Darlene's long, blood-curdling scream, and nothing more. Chapter 26. Elaine covered her ears to block out Darlene's scream. "What do I do?" she thought frantically. "Should I run or go back in there? They could be dead already," she thought, "but maybe not." Elaine knew she couldn't leave them. "Bo?" she called out into the darkness. No answer. She clambered up the pile and peered into the tunnel. Total darkness. At first. Elaine blinked. Was she seeing things? The stark white outline of her own hand appeared against the black dirt in front of her. She held it up and flexed her fingers. Grime from the skeletons covered her knuckles. Where was the light coming from? A hand landed on her shoulder. Elaine screeched and spun around, kicking wildly. A figure stood before her, holding a blinding white light. She cried out and shut her eyes. "Get away from me!" She swung her fists, but she didn't hit anything. The light was too bright. "Elaine," said a deep voice. She paused, opening her eyes a crack. Through all the grit and tears, Elaine made out a blurry figure. She blinked as her eyes adjusted to the light. Slowly, he came into focus. Mr. Savage! He gripped a camping lantern in one hand. His perfect black suit was rumpled and stained. His lower lip quivered in terror. You have to get out of here," he stammered. "Where are the others?" "I don't know," Elaine blurted. "Dead? I don't know." "Oh," he moaned. His shoulders sagged. "No, no, no." "Something's down here," Elaine began. "Hurry," Savage interrupted. "We have to go." "But, Bo!" The upper half of Bo's body burst through the mouth of the tunnel. He clawed at the dirt and pounded it with his fist, trying desperately to free himself. It's got me," he screamed. "Help him," Elaine cried. She threw herself toward the tunnel, grabbed Bo's outstretched hand. Savage put down the lantern and snagged Bo's other hand. More dirt came down on them, pouring out of the ceiling like an avalanche. Bo's head disappeared under the pile. All Elaine could see were his arms. "He'll suffocate," Savage yelled. "It's worse than that," Elaine grunted. Bo's head broke free of the dirt. He gagged and sucked in a breath. "We've got him," Elaine said, almost crying with relief. Bo's body came free of the tunnel. All three of them tumbled down the pile to the cement floor. "Where is it?" Elaine barked, whirling in the direction of the tunnel. A deafening roar drowned out her voice. Behind them, a ton of wet earth barreled down from the ceiling. The mouth of the tunnel collapsed. "The roof is caving in!" Elaine cried. Chapter 27. Elaine had never seen so much dirt. It kept coming. She bumped into Mr. Savage as she scrambled to get out of the way. Finally, the cave-in stopped. Elaine blinked. She couldn't believe it. The tunnel to the tomb was completely sealed. "It's over," she cried. "The mist is trapped." Elaine gaped at the massive wall of dirt in front of her. Less than a minute ago, she was on the other side of that wall, fighting for her life. "That's it," she thought. "It's gone. The mist is trapped. Now we can get out of here." Bo moaned at Elaine's feet. She and Savage helped him up. "Are you okay?" Savage asked. Bo scowled at him. "Get your hands off me," he barked. Savage let go of Bo's arm and took a step back. "What happened to Darlene?" Elaine asked. Bo swallowed hard. "She's gone?" "What do you mean she's gone?" Savage demanded. "Where is she? What's going on down here?" "Like you don't know?" Bo snarled. Savage's eyes narrowed. "What am I supposed to know?" 9 people are dead down here," Bo replied, "and it's all your fault?" Savage grew pale. He gaped at them. 9 people? What are you talking about?" Elaine stepped in front of Bo before he could explode. "Max, Darlene, and Jerry Fox are dead, Mr. Savage," she explained. "Some kind of a red mist or cloud or something came out of this chamber. It killed them all." "Not to mention the 6 skeletons behind this cave-in," Bo added. Savage held up his hand. "Wait a minute," he replied. "Tell me exactly what happened." Elaine told Savage the whole story. How she fell through the hidden trapdoor. How Bo had heard about the legend of the dead kids. How they touched the brick wall until it exploded in their faces. How the red mist came out and killed Max. She told him everything, including the message on the wall. Scott Savage knows. Savage stared at her. His mouth hung open. His eyes seemed vacant, as if he were no longer there. "Mr. Savage?" Elaine asked. "Hey!" Bo barked, waving a hand in front of Savage's eyes. "Did you hear a word she said?" Savage focused hard on Bo. "I heard every word." "What do you know?" Bo demanded. "What did that message mean?" "I don't know," Savage replied, his voice filled with frustration. "What do you mean you don't know?" Bo exclaimed. "It's on the wall." Elaine put a hand on Bo's shoulder. "Easy," she warned. Savage let out a huge sigh. He slumped down on the dirt pile and covered his face with his hands. "I don't believe this," Bo grumbled to Elaine. "Let's get out of here." "Wait," Elaine replied. She crouched in front of Mr. Savage and pulled his hands away from his face. "Mr. Savage?" "Yes," he answered. "You have to tell us what you know," she ordered. He let out another huge sigh. "I went to Shadyside High," he began, "long before you were born. You have to understand that it was a different time. The threat of war was very real." Bo snorted. "It was the Cold War, Bo. Sometimes the tension was unbelievable." "Yeah, I learned all about it in history class," Bo replied. "What does that have to do with us?" "These tunnels were built as a bomb shelter," Savage continued, "in case the bombs ever came. That way, hundreds of people would be safe while the world burned. There were stores of freeze-dried food, bottled water, batteries, everything. Enough to survive for months." "Now it's garbage," Elaine commented. "The rats got most of it, I'm sure," Savage replied. "But a few years after the tunnels were built, when I was in high school, they became the big after-school party place." "We know that," Bo said. "So what's with the cave-in?" "I'm getting to that," Savage replied. "One Saturday night, some people I knew invited me down here. I was thrilled. I was going to party with the coolest kids in school." "What happened?" Elaine asked. "We had a great time," Savage replied, "and I got very, very drunk. I never drank beer before." Bo made a disgusted sound. "The others drank a lot more than I did," Savage continued. "They brought paint with them and started writing graffiti. We got more paint on each other than on the walls, though." "And?" Bo urged. "There was a cave-in," Savage replied. "Obviously," Bo said. "Let him talk, Bo," Elaine snapped. "I want to get out of here," Bo argued. "This whole place is insane and I want out." "I'm the only one who can get you out, Bo," Savage cut in, "and I will. but I've been carrying this secret around for 30 years. It's time I tell it." Bo glared at him. "Someone, Peter, I think, tripped over the bag of beer we brought," Savage continued. "Bottles scattered everywhere. 3 or 4 rolled out into the main tunnel. I chased them. But then there was this tremendous noise, like the whole world was splitting open. When I turned around, all I saw was a wall of dirt. The whole roof came down right where we're sitting." "Your friends?" Elaine began. "We're trapped," Savage finished. "The skeleton," she said, remembering the brittle bones clawing at her. She shivered. "I didn't know what to do," Mr. Savage went on. "I called their names again and again, but they didn't answer. I was too drunk to think. I knew they were dead." His voice broke and he stopped speaking. "They weren't dead," Bo stated. "What?" Savage's head snapped up. "What do you mean?" "We saw where they were trapped, remember?" Bo replied. "We went through that little tunnel and saw your precious friends, and they survived long enough to write your name on the wall." Elaine gasped. "The tunnel. That tunnel through the mound of dirt. They must have dug that. They dug their way out." "Yeah, too bad they ran smack into a brand new brick wall," Bo said. Elaine's mouth fell open in surprise. She hadn't even thought of that. She stared at Mr. Savage, waiting for an explanation. "Yes," Savage replied. "I built the brick wall." "Why?" Elaine asked. "No one was allowed down here," Savage explained. "A few others had already been expelled because they got caught. Expelled. That couldn't happen to me." "You killed them?" Bo whispered. "You left them in there to die?" "No," Savage cried. "They were already dead. I know they were, and I would be held responsible, because we weren't supposed to be down here." I panicked. "What happened?" Elaine asked. "No one else knew I'd been in the labyrinth," Savage replied. "So I came back. The next day, I snuck back in with bricks from my dad's construction site. I bricked up the passage so it would look like the caved-in tunnel never existed, and it worked. No one knew why the 6 of them disappeared. It was a mystery." "No mystery," Bo said. "You killed them. They would have gotten out if you hadn't put the wall there." Savage dropped his head into his hands. "I didn't know they were still alive," he whispered. "I didn't know. It never even occurred to me that they could tunnel out. I was just a kid." Elaine glanced at Bo. His hands were clenched into fists. Everything they had gone through that day was Savage's fault. They both knew it. "What about the red mist?" she asked. "I don't know what you mean," Savage replied. "Oh, right," Bo cried. "Are you sure you're telling us the whole story? Or did you let that thing kill your friends one by one while you bricked up a wall to trap it? While you saved yourself and let them die?" "Bo, I mean it," Savage replied. "I don't know what you're talking about." Elaine stared at him. Was he telling the truth? "You never saw a red mist while you were partying down here?" she asked. Savage shook his head. "I don't know what happened to you kids today, but we have to get to the bottom of it." "Why don't we just buy some more bricks?" Bo muttered. "I've had enough of your attitude," Savage exclaimed, leaping to his feet. "The cave-in 30 years ago was awful, but that doesn't mean I'm going to believe that some red cloud killed your friends." "It's true, Mr. Savage," Elaine insisted. "I swear." "Where are their bodies?" he asked. "It took them," Bo replied, "and now it's trapped behind that dirt." A low rumbling sound interrupted him. It seemed to be coming straight through the concrete walls around them. The walls began to vibrate with the sound. Elaine had never been in an earthquake before, but this had to be what it felt like. "What is that?" Bo asked. "Another cave-in," Savage replied. "That's the sound I heard." "Let's get out of—" Elaine's suggestion was cut short by a massive explosion of dirt. The pile burst outward with terrifying force. Elaine felt herself flying, blown off her feet. She slammed into the far wall with a grunt. White lights danced in front of her eyes. Her mouth was filled with dirt. She gagged, rolling onto her belly. Her fingers clawed at the rocky ground under her. She opened her eyes. Bo lay off to her left, covered with mud. Mr. Savage was to her right. The lantern had been half buried, its light dimmed, but not extinguished. Tons of dirt had been blown away. Elaine could see into the other chamber. Bones lay scattered everywhere. She blinked away grit, trying to focus. She rubbed her eyes. What she saw made her heart leap into her throat. The red mist was free. Chapter 28. A terrifying wave of red poured over the remaining dirt. A blast of foul air hit Elaine so hard that she gagged. "Get up!" Elaine screamed. She scrambled across the dirt to Bo. He coughed and tried to sit up. His eyes widened at the sight of the cloud. He jumped to his feet. "We're out of here," he ordered. He grabbed Elaine's arm and pulled her toward the main tunnel. "What about Mr. Savage?" Elaine cried. Savage stirred at the sound of his name. He fumbled for the lantern. He lifted it up and stared at the red mist. "Oh no," he croaked. "Come on," Bo hollered. "It'll kill us, Mr. Savage," Elaine explained, yanking his suit sleeve. "We have to go now." "I don't believe it," Savage whispered. "It's not possible." Elaine tried to drag him, but he wouldn't budge. He gazed deep into the red cloud. "It's them," he mumbled. "They're back. Can't you see them?" "See what?" Bo demanded. Elaine gaped at the cloud. It looked different this time. "I see it," she whispered. Several images hovered within the cloud. They shimmered and came into focus. Elaine could hardly believe her eyes, but she knew what they were. Faces. It was true. "My friends," Savage croaked. Faces, twisted and full of rage. Their mouths were dark pits and open screams that no one would hear. Their eyes were empty and black. All around them, the mist spun like a lethal web. Elaine's eyes widened as she realized the truth. The red mist didn't kill those 6 kids. The red mist was the 6 kids. They knew they were trapped, Elaine thought. Knew that they were going to die. They dug like mad through the dirt, only to find the brick wall that Savage had built. Only to realize that they were trapped. Trapped forever. Elaine couldn't imagine their hopelessness, their terror, their rage. This was it, Elaine knew. This red mist was the rage of all 6 kids. Somehow their spirits remained trapped within them. Somehow they came together and formed the cloud. Each day it must have grown more angry. Each day wishing for revenge. It waited and waited for its chance, she thought. And we gave it that chance. We let it out of the bricks. Now they were all going to die. "My friends," Savage whispered, his voice full of wonder. "I can't believe it's you." The mist hovered near him. The faces pulsed and snarled. "Yes," Savage said. "It's me. You remember." Elaine felt a tug on her arm. "Come on," Bo murmured. But Elaine couldn't move. She couldn't stop staring at the faces. "Elaine," Savage said, his eyes never leaving the mist. "There is a shaft that leads up into the boiler room of the school. Make 6 consecutive left turns. Then you'll find it." "What do you mean?" she said. "I don't—" "Just remember," Savage ordered. He climbed to his feet. Bo yanked Elaine hard. She took a step toward the main tunnel. "What are you doing, Mr. Savage?" Savage finally turned to her. His face was blank, emotionless. "I have a little unfinished business here," he stated. He turned back to the cloud. It moved toward him, surrounded him. Elaine stepped forward, but she felt Bo's hands grab her arms and hold her back. Mr. Savage flew up into the cloud. He howled as the mist surrounded him. Streams of soil dripped off him. The lantern dropped to the dirt pile. The screams echoed off the tunnel walls. His body bucked and spasmed. His arms were pulled back and broken. His head snapped around on his neck. There was one final crunch, and the screams stopped. Mr. Savage's body hung there, twitching. Elaine's eyes widened. Something else was happening. The body seemed to grow smaller, not shrinking exactly, but turning in on itself. The crackle of bones filled the air as the ghostly faces swirled around Savage. The principal's body grew smaller and smaller. His face was unrecognizable. His form was no longer a body, but a ball. Finally, it was gone. The mist surged higher into the air, boiling against the ceiling of the passage. The faces roared their silent screams. Their cold black stares focused on Elaine and Bo. "Run!" Bo yelled. Elaine gazed up, preparing herself for the pain that was about to come. Her eyes strained to see the faces. Something's different, she thought. The mist did not advance. "Bo," Elaine whispered, "look at it." The faces had faded. Elaine sensed none of the rage. The red of the cloud was not as bright. Even the breathing sounds had gotten softer. Finally, Elaine understood. "They've had their revenge," she said. "It's over." The cloud slowly faded before their eyes, evaporated until there was nothing left. Finally, only one last swirl remained. It hung there for several seconds. "Go," Elaine pleaded to herself. "Just go." It dissolved. Every last bit of the red cloud was gone. Chapter 29. Elaine collapsed into Bo's arms. She was exhausted. I can't believe it's really over. Come on, he whispered, picking up the lantern. Let's get out of here. They limped into the main passage. 6 consecutive lefts, Elaine mumbled. They found all 6 after a long march. The whole way, Elaine leaned on Bo for support. She was thankful that they didn't have to run. A red mist wasn't going to swallow them up in revenge. They didn't talk as they walked. It was easy to find the shaft Mr. Savage told them about. A steel ladder led up into the darkness. Far above them, Elaine made out several blips of light. We made it, she whispered. She smiled at Bo. He grinned back. So? He said. So? She replied. So, what are we going to tell people? Elaine blinked, remembering how Max, Jerry, and Darlene died, how Mr. Savage gave his life. No one will believe us. No one at all. I don't know, she answered. I don't know either. Why don't we get out of here first? Then we'll think about it. Elaine nodded. She reached up and grabbed a cold rung. She gazed up at the glow of daylight above, and she and Bo climbed out together. This has been a Nightfall Audiobooks production of Trapped by R.L. Stine, a Fear Street novel, Book 51. Hi, this is Chris with Nightfall Audiobooks, and thank you very much for joining me for my production of Trapped by R.L. Stine, the very last novel in the original Fear Street series. Man, what a way to spend your Saturday, huh? You get detention, you are told to self-police with the rest of the people in detention. The troublemaker, Bo, decides that he just can't sit still, so he goes to the cafeteria and raids the place. They take all manner of food and drink. Then on the way back to the detention classroom, they hear the principal in the hallway, and they're like, oh man, let's detour. And then poor Elaine falls down into the tunnels below the school, and then that red mist is down there, and it gets Max and Jerry and Darlene. Wow, what a terrific story. What a good way to end the Fear Street series. No wonder this book is beaten up so much. It must have been read and passed around a million times in school. For having only one setting, being the school and the tunnels beneath it, this is truly terrifying. You really get behind the mindset of the kids as they run from this red mist, and poor Elaine with her damaged ankle. You totally understand Darlene shoving Elaine off the ladder to get away, because Darlene is just terrified. Everyone is out of their minds with fear. There's no way out. The torches are running low on fuel. They have no more lighter fluid left. They're almost out of resources to make things. They have no weapons. This mist is chasing them. What do we do? And then they find out that Mr. Savage was the one that built that brick wall and trapped his 6 friends in the first place. But it was accidental. He didn't mean to do it. He thought that his friends were dead. Wow. Through all that dirt, they probably didn't hear Mr. Savage putting those bricks into place and locking them in for 30 years. Wow. What a way to go. Starvation, dehydration, that's no way to go. Do I recommend this novel? Absolutely. 100%. This is fantastic, R.L. Stine. This is awesome. I am glad that I have this book, and I am glad that I read it. What should I do next? I don't know. Send me an email, nightfallaudiobooks@gmail.com. I'm also on YouTube at Nightfall Audiobooks. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also hit the join button to show your support. Any help will be greatly appreciated. I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/nightfallaudiobooks. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whoever you think would like to listen to me tell them tales from R.L. Stine. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.